Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to take you through this guideline on how to write a good reflection. Hope this video is helpful. So yeah, this link has been shared with you. You can come to this link. Firstly, it starts with a very interesting quote. We don't learn with experience, we learn by reflecting on experience. What does this mean? There are a lot of people who have 30 years experience, 40 years experience, but they don't grow in their life, right? So I think for those in high performance environments, reflection is a very important process because it helps you gain more out of your existing experience, right? And take on new situations. So there are various reasons why I think we attach importance to reflection in the deep thought selection process. So I think one reason is attention to detail versus selective attention. There are a lot of individuals, more than 90% of people who graduate today have selective attention in the sense that they only listen to what they want to listen. So there's something that the mind wants us to listen and listen to them. So it takes some training to go beyond the instinct. We all have some instincts, right? For example, if someone is about to punch you, the instinct is to go back. But then point is if you go back, the person will punch you even better, right? The momentum builds up and you get punched better. So instincts are not necessarily always right. Sometimes you'll have to overcome the instinct. So reflection is a great way to overcome that instinct of selective attention and go into detail. Attention to detail is like super important. Second, depth versus superficial understanding. Are you just taking headlines? Most youngsters just take the headlines, right? Something which appears very motivational, something which appears very attractive, they take that. But there are other aspects which will not be that glamorous in the video, but those I think are important. And the ones who can reflect usually demonstrate a growth mindset. Somebody with a fixed mindset says, I don't know, while somebody with a growth mindset says, I'll figure it out. And somebody, and you know, somebody who can't reflect can usually get distracted into so many things. But then somebody who can reflect a lot, I think can really internalize ideas, which is fantastic. And I think reflection is great because it helps you really align with the organizational, philosophy, right? Because in innovation environments like deep thought, especially startup environments, it's anti-status quo. The world is working in a certain way, and we'd like, you know, individuals who believe in what we are trying to bring out because change is not easy. If change was easy, anybody would have brought it out. So I think these 5 reasons tell you why reflection is super important. So with that why clearly established, I hope we can go to the how to write a good reflection. Initially, you can take detailed notes. A lot of people don't take these detailed notes. Second is, I think you can look at some concepts, right? But before you consider something to be a concept, can you write down 3 different examples of it? Can you write down 3 different examples of it? A lot of times it's a headline and not a concept. A lot of times it's a headline and not a concept if you can't think of 3 different examples of it. And so then you can pick some concepts and then start, writing each of those concepts in your reflection. And you can segregate the round 1 and round 2 so that you have enough concepts around each one of them. And while cross-checking I think the most important step is to cross-check your reflection, right? Are you covering a headline or are you really taking an insight, right? So a headline is something that takes attention, while insight is something which is more nuanced. The, uh, you you can take, and as I said in the previous step, you can look at least 3 examples. That can be a way in which you can check if it's a headline or an insight. And is it your personal opinion that you're sharing, or is it a concept that you're sharing? I think that's a very important thing to look at as well. And some individuals tend to bring in flattery about the organization. Flattery doesn't help. We're looking for facts, right? We're not looking to for you to tell us that you like the selection process or you like something about the organization. In general, flattery is very self-esteem destroying. You try to, flatter other people, you feel a little suppressed and oppressed as well, which is in general not good. So we don't look for that. And then again, we're not interested in feedback about the organization or about the selection process. The feedback can definitely be given at the end. Once your selection process is over, do share the feedback. We'd love to listen. But this is a reflection. This is a academic activity, and we're interested in what you learned out of the selection process. So there are some examples which I've shared. Like the first example got only 5 on 10, and you can read the scoring as to why this was scored 5 on 10. I think examples were not shared, and there's not enough argumentation. The second reflection is slightly better, which has got, I think, a good score. And the third reflection has got a 6 on 10, which is only slightly better than the 5 on 10 because there's not much, again, example and argumentation. So three very important things you can look at is, does the reflection give enough examples? And is there enough argumentation in your reflection? And are you going with insights, or are you going with headlines? I think these are the things you could look at. And irrespective of the deep thought selection process, I think this reflection is fantastic because if you can get into this habit of reflection, you can learn anything faster because you'll be able to internalize what you learned. And if you're in a tough project, you're in a tough situation and you want to get out of that situation, I think reflection is a great way. Um, I think there's one famous Japanese series in which somebody says that once you really start listening to yourself, you're not distracted, and then you'll actually be able to execute better. Something on these lines I've heard. And I think that's fantastic because our mind usually tends to be very distracted. And if you can really get that focus going in the mind, a lot of wonderful things can happen. So reflection is just the beginning. So all I would say is, with an open mind, go ahead, give it a proper shot, try to reflect well. I'm sure you'll feel good after writing a really nice reflection. So I hope you enjoy this process and I wish you all the very best.